OpenAI just built the most powerful AI it has ever made. It's called GPT-5.6. And for the first time in the history of this industry, you are not allowed to use it. Not because it failed a safety test, but because it passed a dangerous one. This is the model the United States government decided to lock in a vault. Who's allowed near it, why, and what it means for everyone who builds with AI. Start with what shipped. GPT 5.6 comes in 3 models, named after the Sun, the Earth, and the Moon. Sol is the flagship, the most capable model OpenAI has ever built. Terra is the balanced workhorse, about half the price of the last generation. And Luna is the fast, cheap one for everyday work. 3 tiers, 1 family. But it's Sol that set off every alarm in Washington. On paper, Sol is a monster. On terminal bench, the test that measures how well an AI can actually drive a computer and finish real coding tasks, it scores about 92%. That's a new world record, ahead of OpenAI's own codex on GPT 5.5, and ahead of Claude Opus 4.8. New modes let it think longer, or split a job across subagents running in parallel. By the numbers, it is the best coding AI on Earth. Which is exactly the problem. Here's what happened behind the scenes. On June 25, before the model was even public, the White House asked OpenAI to limit its release. The very next day, June 26, GPT 5.6 shipped, but only to about 20 companies, each one approved by the government. Everyone else, including you, was locked out. This is the first time the US government has ever stepped in to restrict an American AI model before it launched. Sit with that number. 20. Out of every company and developer on the planet, roughly 20 got access, through the API and OpenAI's coding tool, and every one of them had to be cleared first. OpenAI says it will widen the door in the coming weeks. But for now, the most powerful AI ever made sits behind a velvet rope, and the government is holding the list. So why the lockdown? Because of one test. On OpenAI's own internal cyberattack challenge, Sol scored 96.7%. That pushed it over a line OpenAI calls high cybersecurity-risk in its Preparedness Framework. In plain terms, the same skill that makes Sol the world's best coder also makes it dangerously good at finding and exploiting security holes. It is the first model OpenAI has ever shipped that crossed that threshold. And that's the uncomfortable truth at the center of this whole story. The thing that makes a model brilliant at building software is the exact same thing that makes it brilliant at breaking it. There is no clean line between the world's best coding assistant and the world's best hacking assistant. The White House's cyber and science offices asked OpenAI to hold the line while the government figures out how to even test for this. Capability and danger stop being separate things. If this feels familiar, it should. Just 2 weeks ago, the government forced Anthropic to pull its most powerful model, Fable 5, offline for the entire world, over the same fear that its abilities could be turned into a weapon. Now it's OpenAI's turn. Twice in 1 month, the most advanced AI in America got gated by Washington. This is not a one-off. It is becoming the rule. Let's lay it out plainly. The family itself is impressive and, on price, aggressive. Sol matches the last flagship's cost, Terra is about half, and Luna is cheap enough for anything routine. That's the half of the story OpenAI wants you to hear. The other half, almost nobody can actually use it. No open access in ChatGPT yet, a hard cyber risk gate on Sol, and a guest list written in Washington. So what does this mean if you actually build things? Short term, you can't touch the best model, and you plan around the ones you can. Bigger picture, the era where the most powerful AI was just a credit card away is ending. Frontier models are starting to look less like products and more like controlled technology, the way encryption or weapons research is controlled. Most powerful no longer automatically means available to you. If you want the one-line version, here it is. OpenAI shipped the most powerful AI ever made, and for the first time, a government, not a market, decided who gets to use it. The unsettling part isn't that something went wrong. It's that everything went right. The model is that good, and that is precisely why it's locked up. Step back, and the real shift is obvious. For 2 years we argued about whose model scored highest. That argument is basically over. The new question is who is allowed to hold the most powerful ones at all. In the span of a month, the frontier of AI quietly turned into something governments gatekeep. Nobody passed a law. It just happened. And that might be the most important AI story of the year. So what's your read? Is locking up the best AI a necessary safety move, or the start of governments deciding who gets to compute at all? Tell me below. And if you want AI news for developers with the hype filtered out, subscribe. This is the Shipyard.